Hi guys, Weapon Informant here, and today we're going to talk about a weapon I'm trained on and I've used a fair bit because I got my wing marks with it, the L85A2. Now when I'm saying trained on the L85 and I've used it, I mean the L98A2, which is just the same but it's not fully automatic. You can only fire it in semi-auto mode, but it still operates the same, just doesn't have the fully automatic function. The L85 belongs to the SA-80 family of weapons and is commonly referred to as the SA-80. It has a rate of fire of 610 to 775 rounds per minute and shoots the 5.56mm by 45 bullet. The SA-80 family of weapons has the L85, L86, L22 and the cadet rifle, the L98, which I have used. SA-80 stands for Small Arms 1980s and was originally British with the L85A1 version. It featured the bullpup design originally used on the EM2 rifle. It was prototyped in 1976 and its production ended in 1994 and is due to remain in service until 2025. The L85 is the icon of the British Army and has been seen in a lot of games and films such as Battlefield and films with any British soldiers in really. The L85A2, the second version of the L85, began development once problems with the L85A1 became apparent. I personally never used the L98A1, so I can't comment on the problems, but I can tell you what I've read. In the Gulf War, the A1 was reported to be unreliable, but better in full auto. The plastic furniture was reported to be poor quality and fell apart. The weapon's magazine could only hold 26 to 28 rounds, instead of the original 30. Because of the springs. The weapon also had problems gas-wise and ergonomic-wise. This weapon's ineffectiveness was picked up by the media, and former soldier Andy McNabb said in his book Bravo 20 that the British Army had produced a Rolls-Royce in the SA-80, albeit a prototype Rolls-Royce. The MOD, or Ministry of Defence, addressed these issues with the SA-80 family in 1997. In the year 2000, the German company Heckler & Koch that in the future would go on to make weapons such as the G36C and the M416 were owned by BAE Systems, a British company. They were contracted to produce an upgrade for the SA-80 family of weapons costing £400 each. 200,000 SA-80s were remanufactured and named A2 for the second variant. Now although HK was owned by BAE Systems, I still consider the A2 version of the L85 to be German because it had the Germans' ideas from HK put into it, so I'm just going to go ahead and call it a German weapon now. From this picture you can see the changes from the L85A1 to the L85A2. The Germans added in a modified bolt, extractor and a redesigned hammer. One of the most noticeable changes is the cocking handle. It is now shaped in a comma kind of shape. You can see it just below the rail section on the gun. All these upgrades improve the reliability of the weapon. The LSW or L86 and the carbine or L22 also got the equivalent modifications. The weapon went from being known to have 50 faults to being known as one of the most reliable weapons in its type, including the L86 and the carbine. If you ever get a chance to fire the weapon, look for the HK A2 markings on the weapon. HK later went on to add a Daniel Defense rail in 2008 and the Magpul E-Mag was introduced in 2011. The L85 is still being tested to prove its reliability over other rifles like the M16. The L85 has the same length barrel as the M16 and can hit targets at further ranges than the M4, but still it's the same size as the M4, so you get the best of both worlds. Whilst the L85 is still kicking, some of the weapons like the L86 in the family are getting less common. Although the family have experienced a lot of wars together, from the Gulf War to Iraq and Afghanistan. Through these wars, the weapon has seen a lot of modifications. It has been fitted with a Daniel Defense rail, like I mentioned before, and has seen a variety of sights on it, from the classic British SUSAT to the American ACOG and LCAN. This is an attempt to replace the classic, but yet aging, SUSAT sight. Altogether, I like this gun, as I have used it a lot and it got me my marksman, but it isn't my favourite gun. But I do think it is a perfect addition for the British Army now that it has a rail system and a variety of sights. And I think it will keep on kicking for a good 10 more years. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and leave a suggestion for a weapon below. And follow me on Twitter to interact with me. So it's been Weapon Informant, and I'll see you next time.